Okay, today we're talking about how to write the letter B using the Fundations verbiage. Then we'll talk about how to produce the sound correctly. And finally, we'll discuss what to do if your child struggles forming or writing the letter B, lowercase b. So Fundations verbiage goes like this. Go to the skyline, go down to the grass line, trace up to the plane line, and around to the grass line. B, bat, b. Now you notice when I said that, I didn't say ba, because ba is actually two sounds, b and And so to help my students not add that sound, which is kind of hard with the b, I just have them watch my mouth and see that my mouth is barely moving when I let go of that sound. B, b. So your lips just barely open to let some air out, and that's the best way I have found to get them to say it properly. And it really is, again, helpful for especially for struggling readers to make sure we say it properly, not ba, but b. Now, the most common error we have when writing the B is definitely that it looks more like a D, because to a student, which direction do they go? So if they want to write it like that, well, obviously we know that that is a D, not a B. So my best thing that I have found is talking about how the letter B is the baby, and he loves to go hang out with the letters. So if I've written the letter B properly, and I put a little belly button and some legs and an arm and a head on it, which direction is that bee walking? And they would say either towards the letters or out the window, and they would say towards the letters. And that's because he loves hanging out with the letters. So he walks up to the C and he's like, "Hey, C, how's it going?" And C's like, "Oh, it's the baby. Come in, baby. Let me give you a cookie." Goes up to the H, and H is like, "Oh, give me a hug, baby. Come on in." And so the baby loves hanging out with letters. And so when I do that, I know that it's moving towards the letters and not going out the window. To contrast that, the D, first of all, it is a plain line letters where it starts, and it starts off with a letter C, but that's a little TMI for them maybe. C, up and back down. D is how I do that. But when we're talking about which direction it's moving, if I'm thinking about this and I put a little head on this guy and an arm and legs and a belly button, is he walking towards the letters or is he going out the window? And they're going to say going out the window. And that's because his belly is like a drum. Now, just FYI, the word drum, you would think there's a D sound in there, and there is not. It's a J sound. Anytime you have a DR together, when we smash them together quickly to make that word, it turns and sounds like this, drum. So don't teach that drum starts with a D sound, because it doesn't. But it is helpful to know that the D has a drum on his belly. And so when he walks up to letters, they go and they bang on his belly, and he gets mad. He's like, "Get off me, what are you doing?" And so the D is walking out the window. He does not want to hang out with the letters, because every time he does, they want to bang on his belly, which is a drum. They'll go So that's one way I help my kids know that. Now, another way, if you've already established an H, the H, when you're writing, I talk to my kids, what does honeybee start with? What's the first sound? They say, well, is an H, right? So if I, like in the word honeybee, ooh, what letter is this? And they would say H. So honey bee. I go ahead and finish it, and now I have the letter B. So when I'm writing, it is make an H first and turn it into a B. So I can say, if I can write an H, then I can write a B, or have them say honey bee, either way. So those are kind of the best ways I have found to help them form the B, go in the proper direction. Also, remember, it is a skyline letter, so they're going to start on the skyline for that one. Scratch them back, scratch them bellies. If you've seen any of my other videos, we've talked about that before, but if not, we'll show you here. So let's say they do go the right direction, but they do something like that. So we talk about letters don't like to float. They get a little scared when they're not touching lines. And so I would look right here, is this floating or is it touching a line? And they say it's floating. So we have to make sure, go to the skyline, when we go down, we're going to bounce right back up. And then I have to scratch my back as I come around, and then I'm going to scratch my belly. So we're making sure all of our parts of our letter are actually touching lines.